I'm 12 Warlock here, back with another strategy guide, and today we are doing the mission Black Gold in the game Battalion Wars, and for this one, we're primarily going to have to rely on outnumbering at the point of attack, but still make sure that we have the better engagement. The better engagement when it comes to unit versus unit when we do these assaults on these emplacements that we're going to have to take out here. So, mainly, there is going to be the first time, if you're using this to help you with your first time playing through this. If you haven't gotten far enough to use the bombers, don't worry, they teach you how to do that in the level. I'm just going to tell you that right now. They do have a tutorial for that, like they do with the first time you use pretty much any new unit, any new aircraft, that is. Like, vehicles are pretty simple, pretty similar to each other. So, thing you should do, just double check to see what you're engaging against. Here, you got a rifleman, a minigun, and a heavy tank. Now, my highest priority is going to be taking out the heavy tank, then the minigun, then the rifleman. We can do some scouting out with our gunships if we want, and so forth. So what we're gonna do is we got 3 grenade vets, 3 assault vets. Assault vets are the all-rounders because they have the ability to damage all types of units. Although they're designed to take on other infantry, their LMG, and all that stuff, and their machine gun, whatever you want to call it, so forth. So, if anything, I'm gonna get here and have those 2 engage on them. And then I'm gonna go here. Now, you do not want to let your heavy recon get damaged too badly early on. I can tell you that much is not going to be good. Now, another thing. I'm going to actually leave those to defend. When you use the follow all icon or give the star thing to give an order to all your units, do not make sure your helicopters aren't going to fly near you if you have anti-air units in the area and so forth. Alright, now I'm going to take control of one of these helicopters, and I'm going to try and scout out the area. But my main focus here is try not to get hit by AA, try and draw out units like this. Miniguns up here, yes, I can understand why. They have a faster rate of fire, but they do a lower amount of damage in terms of, compared to the, missile vets, which are specifically designed for taking down aircraft as well. Now, if this was a rifle grunt, which I'm firing at, if this was a missile vet, I'd probably be dead by now. Once it actually caught up to me and actually got a good lock on me. Which I didn't let it happen because I kept backing up, which is good. Because if I can get a missile vet to back up to the rest of my battalion, it's going to have to deal with 9 infantry and a heavy recon, and so forth. And hopefully it does not go after my, my gunships. Helicopters, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, main thing here, though, is if you do drag one back, make sure the rest of your battalion is not with another one of your helicopters, because then they're both going to get shot down. Because knowing the missile vets, they're not good at taking on ground units. I think they can do a shotgun effect with their missiles because they can't get a lock on ground units. But it's only going to hit like a big target, like a battalion station, or a heavy tank, but then again, it's not going to do that much damage because, once again, they're not designed to take down these kind of units. Now, the searchlights also help them see better and allow your enemies to target you from a farther distance as well. So what you want to do is also try to avoid, if possible, having those bees shined in your area if you have to move in with any air units. By the way, I believe that one of those tents up there in the upper right corner have blue jerry can if you need it. If I remember any other specific tents that have one, I will call them out as I go along. Once again, hopefully get him to follow us, which is happening. If I didn't kill him, eventually my troops down here would, because, well, they'd get in range and they just open fire on him. This is the whole thing. The whole thing here is trying to drag small amounts of units to come at you, so you can hit that small percentage of that small amount of units with full force, so that you have minimal casualties on every single engagement here. You don't have a whole lot like we did when we did Titans of Tundra, where we had way more units and whatnot. It's not like you have 4 light tanks, 6 bazooka vets, 3 flame vets, 5 missile vets, and whatnot. I'm not even sure if that's the exact number that they gave us. Some of those numbers might be right. I definitely know that we had 4 light tanks, though. Anyway, memory aside,
the mortar vets fire grenades up and over obstacles. Use them to flush enemy infantry out of cover.
so the mortar vets here are going to be key.
The blast radius of each mortar grenade.
So the explosion probably would be enough to damage vehicles, which I have learned from playing with this unit a lot. But I am going to tell you, Motor Vet is still a Motor Vet, and once again, not optimal for taking out vehicles, as that's not their main intention. But, I mean, you could. I mean, and you see this? I can get a lock on it. So usually when you charge weapons, usually the main thing, though, is that the charged projectile is going to have a bit of a longer range. Now, maybe it may not be able to hit it directly, but maybe the area of effect will knock it out of cover. Maybe not. Now, we can take out the searchlight, but don't worry about those. I might have accidentally gave the command for my units to go ahead and do that. But, the searchlight does nothing to actually damage your units. It just makes it easier for the ACAC to detect your gunships. So what you want to do is just worry about the units protecting the searchlight rather than take out the harmless searchlight itself. Well, I know someone's behind cover there. I mean, I can't reach them, which is also a kind of a thing that we should do. So now once you've taken out this first one, which is close, you have the option to take out this one next, or this one over here on the map here. Although I want to go for these 2 rocket vets, mainly because they're out in the open. They're not really close enough to either one, and, well, they're, like, not really... They really don't have any protection at this point in terms of numbers of other units to help protect them. We're pretty much outnumbering them 3-1. So this is pretty much an engagement which we're pretty much, if we engage correctly, we shouldn't lose much of anything, let alone anything. Maybe a few people may need, maybe 1 or 2 of our infantry units may need to grab a med pack when we're done here, but that's about it. Alright. Now, you can play that or just tell, you don't have to necessarily use the motor vet. You can just tell them to attack the units that are behind cover, such as sandbags and whatnot. But for now, I'm just going to go back to my heavy recon. It's much easier, and we can get rapid-fire deployments through this thing. Alright. See those missiles flying every which way? That's a ACAC, or their equivalent of our missile vets. They pretty much cannot get a good lock onto us, but given close enough, the closer they get, it's much easier for them to do damage to your vehicle.
Ubel's heavy tank battalion will soon put an end to your fun and games.
Heavy tank battalion will soon be put to an end by my gunships. Alright. So, pretty much... Still have some units over here that we could go after. We want to... Oh, remove their heavy tank. Now, you will see the extraction towers. Yes, that's our main target, but we need to clear out the areas. So if you try to target it or anything, it won't do... I thought, oh yeah, I got a gunship. It's an aircraft. I'm going to do some damage to this thing. And it's like, no, you have to use... No lie, the heavy tank could roll over us very easily. Which is why I'm not engaging. If there's an engagement that you know you're not going to win or the odds are not going to be in your favor, then don't take it. Don't risk it. If you know it's not going to be good for you, then don't do it. Same could be said about chess. If you play a lot of that, you know, don't go be greedy taking pieces if you know that it's not gonna, if it's gonna end better off for the person, for the other player than it is for you. There's just no point. Alright. So I pretty much quickly took out that heavy tank there. Due to my ability to fight them from the skies and a tank, heavy tank, against a gunship, gunship's gonna win, like, 100% of the time. Unless you had, like, 1,000 tanks, but then again, there's no mission here that gives you 1,000 tanks. Alright. Once again, the searchlight's on us. One goes here. It's kind of hard to tell to attack the to attack all the infantry around here.
Anti-air emplacements is destroyed. The enemy's tactics are most strange. Your stupidity knows no bounds, Commander Übel. They are clearing a path for an airstrike on the extraction towers.
At least Kaiser Vlad understands what we're trying to do.
Bombs from one of our bombers.
Yeah, like they said, the only thing that can damage that. Alright. So now we can pretty much, once we've cleared this area, be a little bit more free when it comes to using these gunships. So I'm actually going to tell that gunship to follow the one I'm in. Gonna fly around. Apparently we're firing at some enemy. Apparently there's a minigun up here. Okay, never mind. It's no more. By the way, that does nothing to it. You can't damage it. Now, I remember one of these tents has jerry cans in it. But then again, there's already 2 outside, so you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. Alright. There's so much space in between this area and the next one where the next anti-air emplacement is that you really don't have to really worry that too much about how far you are away from the other units. Let me see here. Alright. If it would lock onto the heavy tank, that would be nice. Alright. So now I'm going to tell this one to attack the heavy tank, so that it'll be faster. Attack that minigun. It's going to be hard for him to dodge when there's 2 of them fighting it. When there's 2 gunships firing at him. Once again, just for safety, and I don't know what the other one's going to do when it follows me, so I'm going to try and draw this one back here. A little bit closer before I tell it to engage. In combat, alright. Remember, be careful on who you tell to follow you. And I'm gonna go grab this jerrycan here. So now that we've pretty much cleared the way and don't actually have to worry about tanks, we can do this. Now, be careful when you tell your units to cross. You want to tell them to... You want to be all the way over here and then wait. Because sometimes they fall off and they land in the water. Now, that's fine if it's an infantry unit because they can swim. But only for a limited time because eventually their gear weighs them down. So you just want to be here. Don't be halfway across because then it'll just follow you halfway across, wade in the water, and then eventually drown because of it. So, right. Alright. And come in here, flank him from the side because I have the faster vehicle and the better maneuverability. Although I am a bigger target.
That's 4 AA emplacements destroyed. Only 1 left.
Can't remember if this one has a jerrycan in it. Hope none of those do. Alright. So now once this happens, you want to find a good place to defend from. Once you do, take out this last emplacement here. Now, the main reason for this is because once you take control of those bombers, that your primary target's going to be bombing those places, and you need a good place for the rest of your battalion to defend and stay, so that they don't get caught in the crossfire of all the fighters and whatnot flying above that would shoot us down. That are going to try and shoot us down.
Watch out for those assholes. They'll burn you to a crisp. Here goes nothing. That's the last of them, Commander. You have a green light to
Okay.
your bombing run on those extraction towers.
I have raised you like a son, Übel. But you are nothing but a disappointment.
This is your first time in the cockpit of a frontier bomber, right? I'll talk you through the control systems.
Alright. Pretty much,
Hold the R button. You can use the control stick to raise...
pretty much some controls are similar, such as the ability to adjust your altitude, so forth.
And release a cluster of fuel air bombs.
Okay. Do that. Air-to-ground mode makes it easier to pinpoint and target all the extraction towers and make it easier to bomb them. It's gonna be easier if you tell your other bomber to get rid of them.
All right, Commander. The first tower...
When you're not bombing a target, it's easier to go in this mode.
Defend those towers. Dispatch
Those fighters are gonna be are gonna make our bombers.
Our bomber is defenseless
Our bombers and our gunships are both defenseless against these.
Tundra's finest pilots will protect you until your mission is complete.
Okay?
Tsar Gorgi? I thought you were in exile.
Sometimes it's best to slow down. That way you get most of your bombs that you drop before you have to,
Bingo!
before you put in, before you have to recharge on bombs or reload the bomb bay with bombs,
The enemy is attacking
is to do that, so that way you get most of your bombs in one run. Oh, we're taking fire here. I picked up a jerrycan of some kind. Running over the target again. Mission done. Throughout this whole entire battle, I have outnumbered at the point attack selectively with my units and have made it so that I had lost minimal casualties. Technique is graded in this game based on how good of a technique you have. So we're gonna skip this. Now, of course, I got 100% power. I destroyed every single unit. And power and speed do not mean nothing unless you have a proper technique. Now, true, I got a C because I took forever. I went at a slower pace, and I tried to show you exactly what I did and how I did it and why, for the sake of the video. But nonetheless, you know that applying the right technique can allow you to get the most out of your power and sometimes the most out of your speed, provided you're not commentating a strategy while trying to do this. But anyway, hope you found this strategy guide useful. If you did, take the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below. Be appreciated. Much appreciated. I'm pretty much doing the ones that I find more difficult so that I can so that these strategy guides can be more helpful to you. I'm not necessarily doing them in order. It may have seemed like that at first, but not really. If you want me to, I actually skipped over a few. I think if you want me to do certain missions I haven't done yet, let me know. There is one mission that I do plan on doing, but I'm not going to be able to do it anytime soon because I'm still working on a strategy for it. But I do have, wouldn't mind taking requests from viewers if you leave a comment on which level to do next, and that will have a higher priority versus whatever I have a strategy for, because I'll take the time and try and make that one first, and so forth. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.